What's up, players? Welcome to episode 98 of Ready Press Play, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of video games. Every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases on all platforms, what we're playing, big topics of the industry, and the games we love. If you want to write anything to be read on the show, go to ReadyPlayNetwork.com or hit us up at ReadyPressPlay on Twitter or TikTok. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is November 26, 2021. I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and joining me today, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Daniel Lima.
You know, Dan, I'm excited to record this episode today.
That's the first time you've ever done it, Dan. That's interesting. I'm surprised you didn't go with Louis, Yeah,
I don't know.
You've only done it once. Yeah, when that was the first time. The first time you did it was when you noticed that I was always saying Dan. So...
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good point. I just wanted to do something different, but it's been a very busy week for me. But looking forward to having a few days off here on the upcoming few days. So excited for the week of Thanksgiving. Do you have any major Thanksgiving / Black Friday plans, Louis?
So Thanksgiving is we're recording the day on Thanksgiving Eve. So tomorrow's Thanksgiving for us. I'm gonna be with the family. We're gonna be eating. We cleared out the living room situation. It was a pain in the ass. It was a lot of sweating and just trying to move furniture around. So we got this big open space for tables and stuff for the extended family. And then as far as Black Friday goes, I'm just gonna relax. Like I'm gonna get up early in the morning, buy some video games that are on like Black Friday doorbuster sales, and then come home. Like I'm not gonna be in lines or doing anything crazy. I just want to get me some $30, possibly $20 games, and that's it. Call it a day. What about you?
Yeah, no, that's a good plan, and I have similar kind of plans. So on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day itself, we're going to go and see some extended family and have dinner / lunch with them. I guess I hate that it's called dinner regardless of what time you eat it. By the way, it's like if you have your Thanksgiving food at 11 a.m., it's still dinner, or people still call it Thanksgiving dinner, and it annoys the shit out of me.
We're having it hella early than normal because we normally have it around 3, but we're having it at noon because we want to spend more time with the family, I guess. But whatever.
Yeah, same thing for same thing for my family as well. But and then on Friday, I don't know. I'll try to get some stuff done, maybe some chores and errands done that I need to get done, and then also try to grab some video games, play some video games. But I don't think I'm going to be doing any major big Black Friday shopping, especially because I am not sitting in that much disposable income right now to just kind of like drop in like TVs or whatever, like big deals like that. But I don't need it anyway. So yeah, I'll stick to same as you. Like I'll try to find some. Maybe get like Guardians of the Galaxy or, some of those games that came out this year that might be up for $20-$30, etc. Yeah,
exactly. And so yeah, happy Black Friday to you, Dan, since we're dropping this on Black Friday. And also, just as a bit of housekeeping here, number one, we're looking extra crispy because we finally went back to Discord, because I just wanted to say, fuck it, let's just try it, because we got off of Discord because of Discord was being a bitch. And then if you guys notice in like previous episodes, Dan would get pixelated and like 144p and stuff. Now, hopefully with Discord being like, better, then, hopefully we don't have any disconnects or anything like that. So, the other program, which we're not going to name drop because I don't know if we're branding or not, but the other program, although it sucks, it never disconnected on us like Discord did. So
True. You know what's funny is that we're gonna make this change now to have a crispier image, and we're doing it at a great time so that we can have a crispier image for our final 2 or 3 episodes on video. But regardless, anyway, Liz, I was gonna say, you mentioned we're dropping this on Black Friday, but what if we drop this on Thanksgiving instead? Like just drop it on Thursday so that it's a day early, and nice little holiday gift to our listeners.
Damn.
I know I'm putting you on the spot. Would you have time? I know you're editing tonight. Were you planning on editing?
I was planning on editing tonight anyways. I'm not going to edit on on Thanksgiving. Yeah, I was never gonna do that. So yeah, of course, if you got the thumbnail, audio listeners will get it tomorrow, Thanksgiving.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's try to get that done then.
All right. So also, as far as video, guys, we made the previous announcements like a couple episodes ago that we are ending our video run, which means that Level One Gaming, we're sorry, we're vacating Saturdays. It was not, like I said, I want to reiterate, it was not a Level One Gaming decision. It was a Ready Press Play decision. In the meantime, between now and 102 or 104 or 106, whichever one of those three is going to be the final episode, which Dan and I haven't decided yet. I'm kind of aiming for like 104 because I think that's the exact 2-year anniversary. So I want that to be the one. With that being said, we're gonna do a couple of things. Number one, episode 100 is the special episode. We've already pre-recorded. I think we mentioned it previously on a previous episode. We pre-recorded it months ago. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be lit. So keep an eye out for episode 100. Just a quick normal thing. Episode 101 will be the last normal episode. It may be the Game Awards reaction since we may be a week late because episode 100 drops during the Game Awards. I mean, like, fuck. So 101.
I wonder, Louis, do you think Jeff Keighley is worried about that? By the way, do you think he's like, oh man, maybe we should push the Game Awards?
Yeah,
because it's
right?
it's gonna be on the same day as episode 100 of Ready Press Play.
Exactly.
If I was him, I would think about that.
Exactly, man. It's just they don't give us calls. Their agents does not give us a calls, but whatever. So 101 will be the last regular episode, and then 102 and 103 will be pre-recorded episodes since they'll be dropping on Christmas week and New Year's week. So yeah, that'll bring us to the end of 2021. So Dan, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered it. Some of those pre-recorded episodes we still have to record, and we're probably going to be doing it over the next week or two. And we're going to try to do some fun stuff with those. But episode 100, we recorded that now like I think close to like 3 months ago. So just giving everybody a heads up that I think it's going to be really cool evergreen content. But if there's anything really stupid that we say at that point, it's because we had no idea of what was going to happen, in between then and now.
Yeah, it was like the week before Sora got announced or whatever, or something like that. So it's like we were screwed.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about that. It's gonna be really interesting, really fun, and I got a surprise for you guys for the episode 100. So not only is there a surprise for episode 100, like for you guys, the audience, there's a surprise that Dan doesn't know about. That's going to be an episode 100. So I've been cooking something up for the editing process since I've had all this time to edit. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh shit!
Dan will see episode 100 before you guys get to see it, but he will not see the surprise. I will withhold that for the actual premiere on YouTube. So there you go.
What the hell? All right,
exactly. He doesn't know.
You just got me. Yeah. You just got me all giddy and excited to hear Louis. I'm like, Louis, he can be ambitious with his ideas for like special things and etc. So I have no idea what it would be, but I feel like it would be something cool. So we'll see.
Yeah. So hopefully things go. I've already been in communication with my team. I have been given the green light that it's gonna go ahead. But I just have to, get the content. So
put it together. Yeah. Put it together. All right.
So,
cool.
That being said, be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and talk some video games. This is a video game podcast, so let's talk about some games. Dan, surprisingly, I played something. But go ahead. What's up?
No, we have a little bit of a longer delay today, so we keep talking over each other here and there. I was just gonna say that listening to the Mega Man music was just reminding me. Did you ever watch this video? I think it's like an Ego Raptor video or something from years ago, where he's talking about the first level in Mega Man X and how it was like a lesson in game design and how to like do tutorials and quotes correctly and stuff.
Perfection.
And there's like, yes, exactly. That is a shout out to that video. Pretty cool video. I used to watch that. I've watched that like a dozen times, and I've showed it to some of my friends, and they really like it as well, to the point where or we'll be hanging out and playing games and stuff, and they always quote, like, there's like this part in the video where like the the little tutorial girl comes up and she's like, Mega Man, and use your mighty hammer. And they're making fun of like how games are tutorialized today instead of that. Anyway, I just listened to the Mega Man sound effect and I remember that video, so just wanted to give that a shout out. Pretty good video for aspiring game designers out there to go and check out.
Nice. So, Dan, you've you played a Game of the Award nominee, haven't you?
Yes. So after we talked about the Game Award, the last 2 episodes we kind of focused a little bit on the award season, like leading up to the award season. We're going to do a little bit more of that today. And I went out and I looked at the list of games awarded, and then I went through Xbox Game Pass and just the Xbox store in general. And I ended up downloading a bunch of the games that I saw that were nominated, either, games that were included in Game Pass. So I downloaded, Forza Horizon 5 and, a few other things. I also bought, some of the indie games that were nominated for things that were cheap enough. And I even put it all together in this like little folder, this folder in the Xbox. So like called it the Game Awards folder. But anyway, there was one game that was nominated for a few different categories that we talked about. It was called the Artful Escape, and this game is available on Xbox Game Pass right now, so you can go and download it for free if you have the subscription. And I wanted to check it out. It was nominated for, I think, Best Visual Art or great. What do they call it? Art Direction. Yeah, Art Direction. It was also nominated, I think, for Best Indie Game and maybe one other thing. So I wanted to check this game out. This game is a kind of I almost don't know how to describe it. It's a little bit of an adventure platformer. Kind of reminds me of something like Oxenfree or After Party, like those kinds of games where there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of story. It's not as much, it's not as much about the gameplay as it is about the setting and the dialogue and kind of going through this narrative. And the story revolves around a musician character who is kind of having a little bit of an identity crisis in the beginning of the game because he's following on the footsteps of his this very famous musician who was his uncle, and everybody kind of expects him to be like his uncle, but he doesn't really feel that way. Like he doesn't really. Not only it's big shoes to fit, but it's also he doesn't necessarily really want to do that kind of music in his heart, and so he encounters some different characters in the town where he lives, and then he goes to bed at night. He's going to have his big performance the next morning, and then overnight he wakes up in the middle of the night and there's something happening outside the house. He walks out, and then he ends up getting taken into this adventure to another dimension. The game is pretty much an acid trip as far as like the story and the visuals go. I've never seen a game that looks quite like it. In the beginning, the little tutorial intro to the game, it doesn't look that crazy, but the moment that you get sucked into this other dimension, that this very almost like Twilight Zone kind of way, then the game just goes off the rails with the colors and the art style and everything. And I played it for about 2 hours. I'm not done with the game yet. It's one of those short ones where if I put another hour or so in it, maybe I'll finish it. But pretty cool so far. I think it really stands out on the art style department. The game does have a music theme, so I think the score is pretty cool as well. It has some pretty good audio design, some pretty good, background music and stuff like that. And just, it's very creative. However, those are all the pros. On the cons, I would just say that the gameplay is just not that interesting. There's not a lot going on gameplay wise. You're really just kind of walking and chatting. Like, there's a little bit of rhythm game parts where you need to press buttons, following certain orders and stuff, and you're almost doing like it's almost, the music segments of the game, I almost feel like a game of Simon, where some character will be playing music, and then signs will lit up on screen, and then you have to press buttons on the controller according to those signs, like in the same order and stuff. But overall, very creative, unique, cool little game. I can see why it got nominated for the categories that it did. I don't think it stands out in the gameplay front, but it definitely stands out in the art.
Yeah, it's nominated for Best Art Direction, Best Score in Music, and Best Debut Indie. So
Yeah, I think it's a fair nomination for all of those categories.
yeah, so I was like, I pulled up screenshots of the game on
Mm-hmm.
screen. It's the same. I remember these screenshots because last week we were like, "Whoa, look at this" and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
Annapurna Interactive, they never miss.
Yeah, I know. It's a very Annapurna kind of game. You know, they really go for those weird like, indie games that are not just good but are also trying to do something different. You know, like I feel like all their games they often feel like they're trying to do something different. I think Donut County was also Annapurna and, a bunch of others. So yeah, I could totally see them, snagging some of these awards. I don't think we really voted for them, but when we were doing our predictions, but now that I've actually played quite a bit of the game, I could see them even getting something like, I don't know, art direction or something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. We didn't vote for either. None of the three. We never. I have the our little Excel sheet, and we didn't pick it on any of them. But yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. I actually I would, especially with it being on Game Pass, I'd have no reason to not check it out. Especially with it, you said being a short game. I mean, fuck, short games are my jam. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
so as far as what I've been playing though, so I decided to get back into Pokemon. I haven't played Pokemon on the Switch
Yay.
like at all. So I tried out Shining Pearl, and my friend got Brilliant Diamond. My friend also bought a Switch Lite for Pokemon. He was waiting. He's been waiting for a Pokemon game for the Switch, and he finally got it because fuck Let's Go and fuck Sword and Shield, right? so, um, so yeah, I have a just minor like this is a complaint that's specifically geared at my personality. All right.
Okay.
All right, and this is does not a this is not a complaint on the game as a whole. It is just a Lewis complaint. This is the most Lewis ass complaint that I can have on a Pokemon game, and it just seems to me like with every generation of Pokemon, they piss me off just a little bit more and more when it comes to starting the game. Okay, so I am the type of motherfucker that would like to start the game and play the game with all three starters, like straight up. So like two Game Boys, a link cable, and I'm gonna get me a Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. I'm just gonna like um, start the game, get to the part where I can trade, like unlock the trading ability, trade to myself, and then delete the game, and then have my main game, my main like, So like if I have red and blue, I'm gonna like delete blue over and over again until red has all three starters, and I can run the campaign with all three starters as my team. And this is no exception. Okay, so
Okay.
my friend got Diamond, and since I have Shining Pearl, what I decided to do was I'm gonna delete my game over and over again until I have all three starters in Shining Pearl, and I traded to him so he can hold my Pokemon safely for me and give them back to me when I'm ready. And I gotta say, like, it takes me 2 hours to unlock the trading ability. Now, mind you, it doesn't take you 2 hours to unlock the trading ability, and it takes you 2 hours to unlock the trading ability over Wi-Fi. You can trade locally, except we were never in the same room together. So I was just like, you got to do all these story razzmatazz, and then on top of that, you have to you have to beat the first badge. Like the Pokemon Center has like this thing where like, oh, downstairs is the Wi-Fi place. Sorry, we're closed right now. In order to open, you got to beat the first badge, cause fuck you. And it was a little bit of grind, and I gotta like. It was just a pain in the ass. I really wish that Pokemon would streamline this ability to harvest Pokemon. But yeah.
I feel like I want to literally tackle you right now in the name of the Pokemon, like the Game Freak developers, because that is such an oddly specific use case that you're talking about here. Like it never even occurred to me that that was something somebody would do to play these games. Because to me, the way I look at Pokemon is that it's like you choose a starter, and that starter that you chose, that's your person, that's your partner, for the adventure. You don't go and get all of them. The choice, I think we need to unpack this a little bit, Louis, because maybe you're too afraid of commitment. You know what I mean? Like maybe maybe you don't want to make that make that choice. Maybe that says something about you. No, but I get it. You know, it is a valid use case. I didn't know people did that, but if people do that, you're probably not. You know, you're probably not the only one. So if that use case was more streamlined in previous games than it is on this one, I think that's fair criticism. I was just
but it's like
fucking around, but it is.
They've been doing it already. Like since the DS has been hard, but like normally it's like when you get the Pokedex, you can start trading, and that's the case here too. But it's just like you know, with me, I was sick last week. Remember, I think I mentioned on the episode, like I was sick. I can't be around people. I have to trade online. You know what I mean? So I wasn't gonna have my friend come over to my house, and just with the whole. Oh, and by the way, after you beat the first gym leader, there's a town you go to. The next town over is the same town where you can meet the grandpa and the grandma who give you the Mew and the Jirachi, which were the bonuses that we talked about during the new releases last week. So I got 3 sets of Mews and Jirachis as a result of our reset. So yeah, that's cool. I have like 3 Mews and 3 Jirachis because why not? Because you know they're only mythical Pokemon, but you know whatever. So yeah.
I can tell you we play Pokemon games very different because I don't even honestly. Number one, I'm not the big Pokemon fan, but the times that I have played through a Pokemon game, I didn't even do any trading. I almost played it like a Telltale game. It's just like there's a story here. I'm just gonna make my choices, go through the story, get it done with, and then that's it. I explored very little the whole like trading / online aspect of Pokemon. I know that that's like one of the biggest components of the game, but it was just I almost approached them more as like, here's a I don't know, like 30 to 40 hour story RPG, and I'm just gonna go through it by myself and pick my 6 fighters or whatever, and then have a few like on the bench for occasions. Back in the day, you would have your Pokemon that you teach all of the like HMs to or whatever. Like you get some random like generic ass Pokemon that you don't necessarily really want to use to fight, and you just teach them to like I don't know, like break headbutt and cut and surf and all these other things.
Well, they streamline that too, so you don't have to have an HM slave in this game. Like they've done a lot of modern conveniences.
I think they fixed that like 2 or 3 entries ago. I think I remember.
Yeah, you can call on wild Pokemon. You can call on wild Pokemon to do it for you, so that's always good. That's like a little pager. And also, just one other thing here, I just got to say, this was my first Pokemon game other than like Pokemon Stadium, where you have like red and blue and yellow, where you can play it on the TV through that weird accessory. So this is the first Pokemon game where I played it on the TV because it's a Switch, Nintendo Switch. You can dock it, and I had it on my big screen TV, and it's really weird playing Pokemon on the big screen because it's what is it called? What is that? What is that word? What's that thing you do? The HUD elements, the UI, and all that stuff. Like the text, the everything. The HUD is designed to be seen on a small screen, and so when you blow it up to a TV, these boxes and these texts are big as fuck, and they're like overly proportioned. So that's the only thing that it's just weird seeing that on the TV.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I feel like that's almost a little bit of an issue with the Switch in general. And it's not always, it's not typically a major thing or something that I think most people really care about, but you design, like UI is designed differently, typically depending on screen size and, whether it's going to be, touch screen or, you're using a controller or whatever. The Switch, obviously, the touchscreen of the Switch is barely really used for most things, so that's not a big deal there. But yeah, you do like when you see a console game, when you have an expectation that the game is going to be on a big TV, you can have your UI elements kind of take like a smaller percentage of the screen, because that people are still going to be able to see that. Versus when you're putting it, if you're putting something on the 3DS, then your UI actually needs to take a significant percentage of the screen. So. It is the thing that when you're designing games for the Switch, you kind of have to find some kind of a middle ground where it's not going to look too bad on either side. Or you have your UI, change modes or whatever, or have it be configured on the settings. But I think a lot of Nintendo games don't do that. They're just like, this is the game, like
Well,
this is the game. It'll
so
just,
the
yeah.
game, it does. There's an options where you can change the text size and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I
Mhm.
just do it to default. And then also like, it's this is like I've been playing the game mostly in handheld mode, by the way, especially with my new badass third-party Joy-Cons that I love so much. It's so awesome. It just feels so good in the hand.
Mhm.
But that's the whole different review. But that being said, I kind of enjoyed the game. It's got a lot of what do you call it? Streamlining. What's the word I'm looking for? Quality of life, all that stuff. Things are better than
Right.
the original. It's an enjoyable game. I'm
Yeah.
having fun. I'm having a good time. I already have 2 badges. I'm on my way to the third badge. Underground. There's an underground like system thing going on, and it's kind of fun. It's actually a lot of fun elements and stuff going on. So I'm having a good time, and I'm actually kind of OP now with my traded Pokemon because traded Pokemon gain more XP, and therefore you get over leveled pretty quickly. So yeah, also, I kind of hate the experience share. It's really weird that all your Pokemon in your entire team gain experience even when they don't fight. So you can't turn it off in this game.
Yeah. They added that. I played one of the ones that had that already. I think Let's Go
Yeah,
had
let's
that
go.
already, and it's I feel like it's this feature that has its pros and cons. So I could see why people would have an issue with it. You'd expect it to be something that you could turn off, because sometimes it's actually a good thing. Like it makes it easier so that you can level up that freaking Metabot on your
Yeah,
on your squad or whatever, right? Like without you having, like if you have a shitty Pokemon that's typically hard to level up, you can just kind of leave them there and they'll just slowly level up as you fight with the other ones. But at the same time, if you want to grind, one Pokemon in particular, it makes that a little bit harder. I guess you would have to, maybe clear your squad and have only that Pokemon in your squad, and maybe it would get benefited that way. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I get it. I get where you're coming from with that criticism. But anyway, cool. I'm glad you're enjoying this one. I'm probably gonna end up grabbing this. Maybe sometime over the next few weeks. I doubt there will be a good Black Friday deal for it, unfortunately, because it's a Nintendo game.
I got it.
You
I
know?
got it at Walmart. They were discounting at $10 like they normally do with pretty much every
Right,
game.
right,
So
right.
$50, not too bad. I spent $100 because I still got Brilliant Diamond and the shrink wrap. So gotta gotta
Mhm.
get that one because I like having everything. So as you can tell. All right, it's time to move on to the news or the rebranding topics of discussion. Uh,
Sure.
all right, so apparently the Golden Joystick Awards were a thing. So I didn't realize here are the
let,
winners.
let me start. Let me start by asking you something, Louis. What do you know about the Golden Joystick Awards?
Well, I
Like, does
remember.
anybody care?
No,
Is
no,
is what I'm
no, not at all.
wondering.
As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I remember covering it last year, and I was thinking, I remember being ambivalent just as before, just as I am now.
Yeah, because I think there's a variety of different award shows, and I think this one is almost like known for usually being the first. It's like usually this is the first one that happens and that we hear about, and then we start going through all the next all the other ones. But I also feel like it doesn't seem like a lot of people really pay attention to it. I've never watched. I don't even know, to be honest, if they like what kind of ceremony they do, or it's probably just like a YouTube video or something. But either way, what I was thinking was that it might be interesting to see this as a possible
Precursor.
um, precursor to the main, to Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, right? Like, so maybe it will give us an idea of some of the games that might be winning.
So the Golden Joystick Awards are the Golden Globes, basically, because
Yes,
the Golden Globes
yes,
used to be a precursor for the Oscars. So,
right, right, right. That's
but
possibly an apt comparison there.
yeah. So they have golden in the same and then in the name on both of them. So let's see here. It says here that this comes from Games Radar. It says ready to find out who's these year's Golden Joystick Awards winners are. Yeah, sure, why not? The show, which took place on Tuesday, November 23rd. Yeah, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. At least now I know it happened on the 23rd, so that literally happened yesterday. All right, the winners: best storytelling, Life is Strange, True Colors. Best multiplayer game, It Takes Two. I agree. Best audio, Resident Evil Village. Best visual design, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Based on the marketing speak, I would agree with that too. Best game expansion, Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island expansion. Okay, I did not know that was a thing. Mobile game of the year, League of Legends, Wild Rift. Best gaming hardware, PS5. Fuck yeah. All right. Best indie game, Death's Door. Studio of the year, Capcom. Best performer, Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu. And Breakthrough Award, Housemark. Best Game Community, Final Fantasy 14. Still Playing Award, FF14. PC Game of the Year, Hitman 3. You know, yeah, sure, it's got to get some love. Nintendo Game of the Year, Metroid Dread, because why not? Xbox Game of the Year, Psychonauts 2, because, well, actually, you know, maybe Forza, I don't know. PlayStation Game of the Year, Resident Evil Village. Oh, come on. It's not even an exclusive. Come on. All right. Most Wanted Game, Elden Ring. Critics' Choice Award, Deathloop. Ultimate Game of the Year, Resident Evil Village. Ultimate Hardware of all time, PC. Nobody can compete with PC. All right. Ultimate Game of all time, Dark Souls.
Okay, so it's a little weird that they have these all-time awards, right? I've never really seen much of those in these kinds of things, but I don't think that matters. Here, I want to go through a few of my key takeaways here. So, number one, Deathloop kind of snubbed. You know, I'm now hesitating with the fact that I was kind of predicting a sweep of Deathloop at the Game Awards, but in this show, they only got one award, and I'm not even sure what it means.
It was the Critics Award, the Critics' Choice.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the other ones are voted by the public then, or whatever. But the other thing is that Resident Evil Village is kind of the surprise winner here, because not only did they win Game of the Year, they won a bunch of the other categories as well, including Best Performer, Best Audio, and also the PlayStation Game of the Year, right? Then the Final Fantasy 14 winning 2 awards here kind of validated my vote for that on some stuff. Everything else, I think it's kind of in line. You know, I think we talked about It Takes Two. Life is Strange. It doesn't seem like it set the world by storm, but I think that got some votes from you because, you know, big IP. Ratchet and Clank got some stuff.
So I'm surprised,
League of Legends Mobile.
I'm surprised, like, a PlayStation Game of the Year wasn't like Returnal or Ratchet and Clank, or, you know, something that was like PlayStation exclusive, or you know, like the big thing, because it almost kind of feels like that's.
You know what, Lewis? I think that PlayStation has not yet had, or the PS5 has not yet had an exclusive that is for PlayStation what things like Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or Zelda are for Nintendo, meaning I think the exclusives that they had are games that are being played by like 10% of the audience. You can probably tell that by sales, right? Like, so if there's 15 million PS5s out there, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, Ratchet and Clank and Returnal, those games are probably selling, you know, somewhere between 500,000 copies to a few millions, right? And I think Resident Evil Village might just have been played by more people. Besides, the people voting for this PlayStation Game of the Year award, a lot of them might not even have a PS5 yet, so they might even not have played, you know, Returnal or Ratchet, but they sure played RE Village on their PS4, right? Possibly.
Or Deathloop.
So,
Hell, Deathloop would be the PS5 Game of the Year. What the fuck? You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
I forgot
right.
about that.
I think Deathloop was a little snubbed here. Kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, Deathloop should have been the PlayStation Game of the Year. With all the 9s and 10s it was getting, yeah, of course. You know, it's actually interesting is, like, this could almost go towards my strategy last year, where I was all about, like, let's spread it the love around and not do any sweeps, because I remember last year's Golden Joystick Awards, The Last of Us 2 swept a lot of categories last year, and I was like, what the fuck, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just throwing that out there that maybe I was, you know, I think I went with the sweep this year, for strategy going. So I'm going against my own
Yeah.
strategy last year.
Yeah, this is very balanced. If you count how many games won something here, we got Life is Strange, It Takes Two, RE Village, Ratchet and Clank, League of Legends, Deathloop, or Dark. That's other something else, but yeah, 12 2021 games were awarded here. So
Yeah, cool, interesting. So moving on to the next big thing. Apparently, there's a Sony patent going on. Says here.
Lewis, I apologize, but while you read the story, and I do want you to read it, I'm going to step out for like a minute or two. I just heard a noise around the house, so I just want to go check it real quick because I'm supposed to be alone. If I don't come back in a in a minute or two or whatever, then maybe you should call 911 because I might have been killed. But we'll see. Hopefully not.
All right. So Sony's patent suggests official PS5 faceplates could be on the way. Of course, those bastards. Of course, that's going to happen. You know why? Conspiracy theory. Sony was suing all of these companies into oblivion because they want to make their profits all for themselves. The newly granted patent means Sony may be planning customization options. Sony has been granted a patent that allows it to make covers for the PlayStation 5. The patent, spotted by OP Attack, which has filed in November 2020. Interesting, that was the same time that the PS5 launched, and was finally granted on November 16th, 2021. It took a year for them to grant the patent. It's simply titled Cover for Electronic Device, but it was provided diagrams showing, its provided diagrams show the PS5 faceplates. Because the patent is described as an ornamental design for a cover for an electronic device, it isn't immediately clear whether it refers to replacement faceplates or simply a skin that can be applied or attached to the existing faceplates. It does, however, show Sony's potential plans to offer customization options for the PS5, news that may affect existing companies offering PS5 customization. The most immediate obvious company this may affect is Canadian peripheral firm Dbrand. I remember that, which has been involved in a lengthy battle with Sony over its black PS5 faceplates dubbed its dark plates. Dbrand $50 dark plates went on sale in February and within a few hours had sold out of stock until May. However, in a statement posted last month, the company declared that dark plates were dead following a cease and desist letter from Sony Interactive Entertainment's lawyers threatening to sue if it continued to sell them. Those bastards. So just days later, its self-assured statement on its website saying checkmate lawyers Dbrand have revealed that a new line of PS5 faceplates, which it calls Dark Plates 2.0, and claims it's safe from future lawsuits. Quote, you can't successfully sue someone over an alleged design infringement without a registered design patent, Dbrand said at the time. Sony did not have a registered design patent for the PS5 side panels when we launched Dark Plates, or for many, many months following the release. We didn't think they'd ever get one. They did. Here we are. So, yeah, I think I'm going to stop it right there, unless there's more to the story, but yeah, Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, first, in case anybody was worried, I'm fine. It's just the neighbor must have dropped something heavy or whatever, and I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so I predicted from the time that we first saw the PS5, and I think it was one of those videos, like I think it was the video where the guy broke down the PS5 and how it's pieces, that it looked so easy to remove those side panels that I knew that Sony, in my head, it would be stupid for Sony to leave money on the table with the possibility of selling these customized plates. And especially when a company started doing them, and then they had the whole situation where they went after it and they sued. I immediately went to, okay, Sony wants to own this market. They want to be the only ones doing it. They don't want the competition. And so them doing this patent now just kind of makes sense that, you know, they're going that direction. And I think we're going to see, however, I do want to bring up that the counter argument to all of this, to the possibility of them actually making this or not, is that Sony could possibly make even more money by not doing it and just having special edition consoles that then people end up buying multiple consoles for. Now, given their production constraints, then maybe this is a better way to achieve that effect, right?
I think that there should be no special edition consoles this generation from Sony. Xbox, you kind of
Yeah,
have to, just because of the way. But I think with it being like faceplates and stuff like that, like special limited edition or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like God of War faceplates or whatever that have a certain production run or whatever. I think that's cool. I think it's affordable and cheaper and like it's what is it, consumer friendly. Not having to buy and shell out and buy a whole new console. And if you want
yeah,
a whole console that looks like that, you can buy a whole another PS5 and then just swap out the faceplates, and then you have two PS5s with two different designs, and then you can call it a special edition. If anything, special edition controllers would be better. Those.
yeah, true.
So yeah,
And
I don't know. Oh, so go for it.
the other thing too is the average consumer may not, go out and be willing or able to buy multiple PS5s, especially with it being that hard to buy them, and you possibly having to shell out more than the $500 to get them
Yeah,
at this point, and probably for some time to come. So, but that same average consumer, and once they get a PS5, they might be down to throw in $50 or even more every once in a while to get special, to have like an Uncharted, because you wouldn't stop at one, right? And we
yeah,
know that with Joy-Con collars and the way that people buy those, even though those are pretty expensive, that you would get the faceplates, Last of Us 3 comes out or whatever, like you can get the faceplates for Last of Us. People will go and buy that. And then, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart 2 comes out, and then people will go and buy those. And then, the next Bloodborne comes out and people go and get those. And, they're switching it. They have they'll decorate their PlayStation and for each different holiday or whatever. Like they might end up actually making a lot more money in the long run that way. Yeah.
yeah. You're right because I've never bought a special edition console. I've always had basic consoles, and also just looking at my PS5 right now, it's just like it's such a canvas. It's like so much. It's so much like it's uh,
There's so much space
to
for the art, right?
yeah.
Like it almost looks like it was designed with that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you're right. It wouldn't. It only just starts with one, and then you go from there. Like that's how they got me with Amiibo. You know what I mean? So if it's like
Yep.
$30 for a faceplate or whatever, like it's cheap and ineffective. Like it's not gonna hurt your wallet. You're gonna want to just
Mhm.
like keep on dipping for more, and the next thing you know, your $200 is down the drain on faceplates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 100%.
all right. So next up here, Rockstar. They apologized. Like, we're sorry. Polygon reports that Rockstar apologizes for GTA Definitive Edition issues and will bring back classic PC versions. And that's the very least that they can do. Updates on the way for all versions of Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition. Rockstar Games has broken its silence over the messy launch of Grand Theft Auto, the remastered games that, to many fans, weren't up to the level of quality expected. Rockstar said Friday that it plans to release updates for the game to address technical issues with the games, and that it will re-release the classic Windows PC versions of the trilogy that were removed alongside the definitive edition's releases. Firstly, we want to sincerely apologize to everyone who has encountered issues playing these games, Rockstar said in a statement on its website. The updated versions of these classic games did not launch in a state that meet our standard of quality. No shit. Or that the standards our fans have come to expect. We have ongoing plans to address these technical issues and to improve each game on going forward. With each planned update, these games will reach the level of quality that they deserve to be. The first update is due in the coming days and will address a number of issues, Rockstar said, but did not specify which. So yeah,
Yeah.
Dan, are you?
Louis,
Is this good for you? Is this lip service or is this better?
I you know, I haven't played any of these games yet, so I haven't been like super in the loop with what's going on. But I thought we should touch on this topic because we did cover this game as it got announced and it like rumored and then announced and when it came out, and then we didn't really talk about it at all in the show after it came out. But these remasters were not received well at all. There was a lot of technical issues with them.
I saw the
I
IGN
saw
review.
one. Yeah, IGN I think gave them like a 5 or something. thing. I saw a video on Twitter that somebody shared where they were walking next to this stretched out like wall, and as they walked around and they were moving their character, you could see like textures of characters' faces on the wall, but like this like stretched out face like would like occasionally kind of show up like on the wall in this very weird way. And one of my friends sent me that, and he was like, "Hey, why would that happen? Do you know how that would happen?" um, and I even had a technical explanation for what I thought could be going wrong there. But yeah, there's a lot of weird shit. I heard I was listening to GameScoop IGN podcast, and they talked about how there was a bug of I think if you were like maybe what was it again? I think it was like if you were driving a car and then like wiggling it around in a certain way, the car just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until like if you were doing it for like a minute or something, the car would be bigger than the fucking road. And there's all sorts of like really weird shit happening. Some of the explanations have been that apparently they used a lot of AI to remaster these games. They put a lot of assets and things through AI algorithms that were upscaling things or updating things, and that alongside other things have led to a lot of issues. I can't remember who was the actual developer for the ports. I don't think he was internal to Rockstar, but regardless, the buck stops with them, right? So yeah, this seems like it's pretty bad. I hope they can address the issues. These are some of the most beloved games of all time, and they deserve to be treated better, especially since they took away the originals from the store, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting, like that. Whenever it comes to like these definitive editions or remasters or remakes or whatever, it's always been a situation where like the companies are giving like they're revering their own product, and they are paying respect, or really showing love, and for their classics. And this is one of those situations where it almost kind of feels like they're like disrespecting their own legacy and just like
Mm.
spitting in the face of the PS2 generation in a certain sense. And it's kind of interesting that they would use like game development by algorithm, because that No Man's Sky has proven that that works, right? At least when it first launched.
Right.
So
Um, yeah, I don't want to speak too deeply in the technicalities of how the port was done because I just don't know. It sounds weird, but maybe there's a reason why certain things were done a certain way or whatever. But at the end of the day, there was no rush to release this game. There was no I can't understand a time pressure in any kind of fan like there I don't think there would be any fan outrage if this game had been announced to come out next year as opposed to this year or whatever. So I don't understand why they didn't just take the time to put out more polished remasters. Maybe they want to
did
maybe they
Rockstar
wanted to get it.
did Rockstar need like a Q4 like financials or something like that, or
Yeah,
stock
that's
stocks?
almost what it kind of feels like, right? Like they're trying to because I think Take-Two stock has not been doing so well for a bit now, so maybe they just needed a bump there or something. And not sure if this helped, the way that it
If anything,
actually turned out. But
it's kind of gone against it,
yeah,
if anything. But yeah,
yeah.
all right. So next up, we have to talk about the ongoing saga that is the Activision Bobby Kotick situation. Polygon reports that more than 1,000 Activision Blizzard workers signed petition to drop CEO Bobby Kotick. We understand that we the undersigned no longer have confidence in the leadership of Bobby Kotick as the CEO of Activision Blizzard. And then there's a picture of a whole squad saying with a sign that says Bobby Kotick must go. After walking out of work on Tuesday, Activision Blizzard workers are rallying together to call for CEO Bobby Kotick's resignation. More than 1,000 employees across all studios and departments have now signed the petition. The number of signees continues to grow as the petition circulates. And the petition continues. The information that has come to light about his behavior and practices in the running of our companies runs counter to the culture and integrity we require of our leadership, and directly conflicts with the initiatives started by our peers. We asked that Bobby Kotick remove himself as CEO of Activision Blizzard and that shareholders be allowed to select the new CEO without the input of Bobby, who we are aware owns a substantial portion of the voting rights of the shareholders. Fuck. The push for Kotick's removal comes after the news report of the Wall Street Journal, and which we talked about all last week and stuff like that. He was aware, he had existing knowledge about employee misconduct, sexual harassment, as well as news of pay inequity between Blizzard co-leaders Jen O'Neill and Mike Ibarra. So, yeah, there is a lot to talk about here. Dan, do you think that the mounting pressure is gonna force this resignation? Because I know I know last week you were saying yes, and last week I was sort of like being very bahumbug, or like I don't believe in the power of good anymore, you know. So yeah, what do you think?
I totally understand your skepticism, and I'm not fully convinced either way or another. But I think I think we keep seeing the dominoes falling one after the other that would lead to his resignation, or being asked to resign by the board of directors. I know that at this point he has the board in his hand, but that situation can change, and I think it will. So I do think we're walking towards that direction. We're gonna have to see a little bit more before that happens. I think like 1,000. So I was thinking, like, what is 1,000 Activision Blizzard workers in the grand scheme of Activision? I was like, that's probably a lot, even though Activision Blizzard has a lot of employees. That's probably a lot. I just looked it up. The first number I could find for an employee count for them was 9,500. So that would put this at a little over 10%. And this is the beginning of it, right? They're still going. So let's say they hit 2,000, and then that's over 20%. And then it makes you wonder, like, if over 20% of the company does not want the CEO, and it's not even that they don't want it, but they're going on the record that they don't want it, because there's a lot of people in these situations that prefer to kind of keep it to themselves and stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
That I think that says something. And then the other follow up to the stories that you're gonna hit on also include, like, all the major leads and heads of companies across the games industry are saying, we're not cool with this, and we don't want to, we don't support this stuff, and we don't want to be associated with this anymore. And obviously, there's a big difference between saying that and actually taking action. But all it takes is a few of these big guys to take some form of action, and the pressure is going to be on. There's two ways that this can go, right? Is that it could be a lot of lip service and nothing happens, or some of these people, be it Phil Spencer, whoever, like, actually starts taking some action and pulling out of some deals or whatever, and then the pressure will be on Kotick to get out.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if neither PlayStation nor Xbox wants to brand next year's Call of Duty?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they are like the advertising deal. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the situation where he gets pushed out, because the money, that's the thing. It's like the board is on his side as long as that's the winning side, in quote, right? Like, these investors, they side with the money, and they'll side with the winning side. The moment that things start turning against them, they'll just ditch him. At the end of the day, he might still be well off after it. We talked about this last week too.
The golden parachute, like the $50 million severance package. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if he does get ousted, he's not going to be like falling on his ass. That's the thing that really bothers me. Is like, it's not going to be a true victory.
And you know what? He may walk out with millions of dollars and take a break for a year, a few years, and then might even show up as a CEO of some other company. You know what I mean? Like,
outside the games industry or whatever.
Yeah, like he'll. I could even see him showing up as like CEO of Zynga or whatever the fuck, like in a few years or something like that.
The Don Matrick route.
Yeah, which by the way, we also should clarify that, since we just threw his name in the sentence here, obviously Don Matrick got in trouble for very different things than this, right? That was
Yeah,
more of it was more, that one was more about incompetence than,
yeah,
you know, ill
yeah,
will,
yeah.
I
I know,
guess.
I
But
know.
either way, there are people that, sometimes this kind of shit happens to people, and then they're just kind of out of the limelight for a few years, and before you know, they're just running a company that's not as known,
I just wanted to say real quick though, about regarding their petition, I would be hella surprised if the petitioners get their wish granted about not only is he removed, but that the shareholders pick the next CEO without his input. That would be like normally
Hmm.
you CEOs sort of groom and handpick their successor, like Steve Jobs was for what's his name, Tim Cook. So yeah, so just throwing that out there. So, anyways, that being said, there are more little elements to the story that Dan was alluding to when it comes to this Activision Blizzard story. We talked about last week how like Phil Spencer commented, PlayStation commented, but we didn't pull up their story. I just pulled up Phil Spencer's comments. Nintendo, Nintendo doesn't really get into other people's business like that. So they issued an internal response to Activision Blizzard reports. I think it was like an internal email that was sent to like the leadership within Nintendo, and it just
Hmm.
became made public somehow. Somebody, I
Which,
guess,
by the
leaked
way,
it.
I bet that there's a lot more of that than we think or that we see. And it might even not be that unusual for Doug Bowser and his team to send those kinds of internal emails. I feel like maybe the more unique thing here is that it came out. You know what I mean? That it's
Yeah,
that
leaked or
that it was
leaked.
made public or leaked or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Nintendo, this comes from Fanbyte, and it says Nintendo of America's president Doug Bowser says he finds the reports distressing and disturbing. So there's an update here. Nintendo PR sent the following in response in our request for comment and clarification on what actions they were taking. Quote: We can confirm that the content of Doug Bowser's internal email to the Nintendo of America staff is accurate. We have nothing further to share on this topic.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they confirmed,
Yeah.
right? Like, so it's like, they had the internal email condemning it, and then it leaked, and then now
Yeah.
they're saying, yep, by the way, that's real, that wasn't made up. So that might as well be the equivalent of going on record standing by it, right?
Yeah.
um
What's kind of fucked up is
so
like, uh, I'm pretty sure like this pisses off Nintendo like to have an internal email, made public or whatever because I'm sure that that's a thing. But anyways, let's go ahead and skip to the juicy parts. An email sent by Nintendo of America's president Doug Bowser sent on Friday, November 19th, addresses the Activision Blizzard report. The email went out to all levels of Nintendo of America, including internal development houses like Retro Studios and the newly acquired Next Level Games. Quote, along with all of you, I have been following the latest developments with Activision Blizzard and the ongoing reports of sexual harassment and toxicity at the company. Bowser begins. I find these accounts distressing and disturbing. They run counter to my values as well as Nintendo's beliefs, values, and policies. Bowser goes on in the letter to explain that Nintendo is committed to having an open and inclusive workspace where all are welcome. He remarks that the company holds itself to this standard and expects the same from the industry and their partners. Though without detail, Bowser also says representatives at Nintendo have been in contact with Activision, have taken action, and are assessing others. It's not entirely clear whether actions Bowser is referring to here or which ones they are still leaving on the table. He does, however, make mention that the ESA, a lobbying organization which both Nintendo and Activision Blizzard are members. Bowser says Nintendo has been working with the ESA as of last week's to strengthen the stances on harassment and abuse in the workplace, and that the ESA must hold its members to the highest standards. Quote, every company in the industry must create an environment where everyone is respected and treated as equals, and where all understand the consequences of not doing so. That's some fighting words. Thank you, Nintendo. Dan, over to you.
Honestly feel like I already kind of expressed most of what I think in regards to this. I think it's cool that we're getting to see all of these heads of not only, it's one thing to see, studio heads, third party, studio people talking about it, but first party taking a stance, and all three first parties, I believe, right by this point, have taken a stance against this. And it's interesting to see some pressure being put into the ESA in a way, and kind of suggesting that the ESA should get a little bit more involved with regulating these issues. I know that there's a lot of people that seem to look down on the ESA as not really having as much power as they once did.
They don't have
I don't really.
balls.
Yeah, I don't. That's that's a good thing you throw out there. I don't know if they do have the balls to go in and get involved in these kind of situations, stand up to Activision. Probably not really.
Yeah, they're
But
like
either way, it's
all bark and no bite. It's like a
yeah.
certain like like in law where there's like a regulatory committee that like would govern these things. They have the power to make judgments on stuff, but they have no power to enforce any of their decisions. It's like
Right.
Um,
And the truth is, like, the ESA, the further we go into this digital age, where each company can just kind of run their own shows for stuff and run their own marketing and all these things, and we don't really need E3 as much anymore. The least power that the ESA has, because what are they going to do? Are they going to, get to Activision and say, you act according to our standards, or we're not going to feature you or your games at E3 anymore? And they're going to be like, they're probably just gonna, shrug and be like, we don't care. It's, they can do their own
yeah,
thing. Surprisingly, Activision never even really had E3 conferences, I think. But
they just
if they can't be featured at all,
yeah.
then they'll just do their own stuff, and the ESA is probably going to be the one that ends up losing in that matter. So I don't really think the ESA aspect. I don't really think they're going to do anything, or that they really could do much here. But it's still cool to see, the big three standing up for this, and we shall see whether that's enough to alongside the employee signatures and everything else to actually lead to some kind of change within Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, and this last report comes from the Wall Street Journal. It says that Activision Blizzard's uh, CEO Bobby Kotick has told senior managers that he would consider leaving the company if he can't quickly fix the culture problems at the video game giant, according to people familiar with his comments. So that's just lip service. No CEO would ever say, "Oh yeah, I would consider leaving." No, they wouldn't. They would. They're
Yeah.
only just saying that just to say, what's it called? What's the word? They say a bunch of sweet nothings. You know what I mean? It's like, it's okay. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
to see here. I'm gonna fix this problem. It's like, okay, and they're gonna talk about, oh yeah, I've introduced these new programs. We've got these new seminars, and we're evaluating. No, cap.
I do want to bring something up, right? Money talks, right?
Bullshit walks.
And in February of this year, so about 9 months ago, Activision Blizzard stock was at $103 per share, and it was a 5-year high. Now it's at $61 per share. So it has since gone down from 100 to 60 by 40%. And a lot of that happened over the last month. So just $20 were dropped over the last month, basically, probably influenced by a lot of this controversy. So shareholders are probably pissed, and I think that if they don't see a major turnaround immediately, I think that they're probably gonna start turning against Kotick.
March 2022. By the end of March 31st, 2022, we'll know if Bobby Kotick leaves Activision.
Oh, is that? Are you looking at the fiscal year?
I'm
Yeah.
thinking the fiscal year. I think if he turns in a
Yeah.
bad fiscal report, he's gonna be put on the cross, basically.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I agree.
So, anyways, last bit of news here is a bit of a check this out. So, I'm hella jelly right now. Like, you know me, I'm a jealous bitch. Xbox is sending out 20th anniversary gift packages to random fans. Halo Elite. Ah! Halo Elite controllers and engraved crystals have been arriving at players' homes. And apparently, these are gifts that are being sent to random people who have previously registered at previous Xbox fan fests. So that's how they got your
Hmm.
information. So it makes sense, you know, you're diehard fans. So I wish I get to be a part of this lottery pool, but I have never been to an Xbox Fan Fest, so therefore I am not worthy. So Dan, what do you think of this?
I just think it looks really cool. That's a cool initiative. I love when companies do things to celebrate their fans and give their fans you know I anyway, I was you should get the time code from when this just happened so that we can clean it up.
I got it.
Uh Regardless, I was just talking about how I think it's really cool when companies do things to celebrate their fans and give them unexpected gifts like this. A lot of times we see stuff be done digitally. Like a company will send people a free download or a right to get into a queue to get something before other people or whatever. But this is above and beyond anything I've seen
Placed.
before, and I think that's cool. I'm also a little jealous that it sucks that not everybody is in this pool. I almost wish that we could have signed up for it in some way or something, but at the same time, it makes sense that they're going to the most diehard fans. It makes sense that they wanted this to be a surprise. They didn't want it this to be something that people had expectations set for already. And I also think it's just another thing that gives Xbox good headlines, good stories. They haven't been in the news as much, I think, over the last few weeks. So it's just another opportunity for them to show up again, have people be excited and talking about Xbox again. I mean, they have been in the news with Halo and Forza, but this is more the kind of story of the pro consumer Xbox or whatever that we hadn't seen in a while. So that's cool.
Yeah, the Elite controller, 1 year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, the little crystal thingy. You know, I honestly wish PlayStation did something like this. Like,
Yeah.
like bar none. Like the only thing, you know what I get from PlayStation every year? A fucking wallpaper for my PS4, like with the Christmas decorations. You know what I mean? Like a theme, a fucking Christmas theme for my
Yep. Yep.
PlayStation
Yep.
4. Which I don't even think they're doing themes on the PS5, so I'm kind of fucked this year. So yeah, um, yeah, that's just I'm just jealous. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the extra news. So there are 10 items on the list. So let's see here, pulling it up, pulling it up. All right, number one. Fortnite and Unreal Engine developer Epic Games have acquired Harmonix, the studio behind Rock Band and Dance Central series. Number two, Street Fighter veterans Ryu and Chun Li are coming to Ubisoft's free to play platform fighter Brawlhalla. Not just Ryu and Chun Li, but also Akuma as well.
Oh,
And
cool.
also, just before I say anything else, I just got to say Capcom, they really love to whore out Street Fighter and Ryu and Chun Li. I mean, damn, they have been whored out everywhere, like from Smash Bros to Fortnite, and just throwing that out there. Fucking Monster Hunter, uh, Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, Resident Evil. So just throwing that out there. Number three, Kojima Productions is headed west and with plans to open a new studio in California. This new studio will focus on some of creator Hideo Kojima's other favorite mediums, namely TV, film, and music. Makes sense. Number four, Joseph Staten, head of creative at Halo developer 343 Industries, said that the recent extension of a recent extension of Season 1 of Halo Infinite from March 2022 to May 2022 will delay the release of the campaign co-op and the game's Forge level editor. Motherfucker. All right. Number five, Fortnite Chapter 2 is coming to an end a little over 2 years after it started. The chapter finale will come in a huge event called The End, which is set to begin an in-game on December 4th. I'm gonna put a pin on that one here. I want to address that one. Number six, Xbox has added a new dynamic theme designed to celebrate the Xbox 360. Number 7, Marvel's Avengers upcoming Spider-Man content won't include story missions as some have previously expected. It has been revealed. Those bastards. Number 8, Call of Duty's new Warzone Pacific map, Caldera, has been delayed and will now release on December 8th, the same day that the rival shooter Halo Infinite is officially launching. Number 9, Platinum Games director Hideo Kamiya has publicly apologized to Microsoft for the cancellation of Scalebound. Man, what the fuck? Number 10, a former Sony PlayStation employee filed a lawsuit against the company alleging that the gender discrimination and wrongful termination after speaking up about it. No, they got themselves an Activision situation going on over there. You know, Dan, this is actually the best lot of extra news I've seen in a while. I actually kind of want to comment on a bunch. What do you want to talk about?
Cool. So number one, Epic buying Harmonix. It's kind of interesting. Apparently they're actually going to be working on Fortnite, which take that with they said they're going to still have other ongoing projects that they have going on, but they're also going to be helping out with bringing in musical experiences or whatever
Concerts.
to Fortnite.
Yeah.
I think that probably means something along the lines of more concerts and events, maybe with more interactive elements in the future. It is an interesting choice for Fortnite. I think that there's two different ways to react to the story. If you're a Fortnite fan, you may be excited about what Harmonix can bring to the table and what this partnership can mean for the future of the game and the future of maybe other games published by Epic in the future. But if you're a fan of Harmonix's older franchises and stuff, and you were excited to see what they were going to do next, that would also be disappointing because it could be a shift of focus of what they're doing. But I think it makes sense in a lot of ways. Number 3, I think it would have been cool for Kojima Productions to open a game studio over here, but they're just going to be doing more of Hollywood type stuff and other things that Kojima wants to do. Very excited to hear what that really means. For Fortnite, number 5, the Fortnite Chapter 2 ending. It's interesting, Luis. I know you look at it a little differently, but the way I've looked at this chapter of Fortnite is that it seems to me that they peaked in the middle and then they went down, and that they're actually going to end it in kind of a I don't even want to call it a sour note, but more of a like an indifferent note, because I feel like I have not perceived the excitement for Fortnite anymore in months. Like, I feel like it's just gone. Like, I don't hear anything about it. And I feel like I wonder, they're going to have to really pull something cool off for this finale for people to actually care like they did for the finale of Chapter 1, because I don't know. I just get the impression that Fortnite is on the downslope now.
Maybe Chapter 3 can reinvigorate it.
Yeah, I would hope for that. I hope that is the case.
That's actually what I wanted to talk about, because number 1, I didn't even know it's been 2 years. I looked at it. Apparently, Chapter 2 started in October of 2019, from what I was able to see in this article. So that's crazy to think that we've been in, Chapter 2 this long. It doesn't even feel like it's been 2 years. I've been, playing all of Chapter 2, and I remember with Chapter 1, the finale, Season 10. Here's the thing. I was actually expecting 10 seasons as well, because we did Season X, which was Season 10, and that ended Chapter 1. And I was expecting, we're in Chapter 8, or Season 8 right now, I was expecting it to go to Chapter 2, Season 10, before going on to Chapter 3. But I'm guessing that the people behind Fortnite and Epic and all that stuff, they must have a whole lot of like gameplay tweaks and changes and mechanics, that it's basically a whole nother thing. Because here's the thing. The whole situation with Chapter 1 ending, and the servers went down for about 2-3 days before coming back up, and the reason why is they made it a whole story. They made it a story element, like a plot element, where like it was a black hole that sucked up the whole universe, and the whole universe collided into a singularity. And the thing is, it was basically because they needed all that time for the server maintenance to go down, for them to rebuild the game and make it a revamped product. Because between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, there was a whole lot of gameplay changes that weren't even possible in Chapter 1. So for instance, if you fall off the edge of the map, you go swimming in chapter 2. But at the end of in chapter 1, that was a death sentence. If you fall off, you die. You touch the water, you can't swim, you die. So it's like those kinds of stuff that they do to, and I wonder what kind of. I'm actually kind of wondering what they would have up to the sleeve, because if you're calling it chapter 3, it's gotta warrant it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
Yeah. I have a little bit of speculation on this, Louis, that it's just kind of based on, anecdotal evidence of the things that I've perceived that I was even referencing earlier. Is that I wonder if they're just kind of seeing a situation where, their player count is going down and it's dwindling, and they're seeing all these competitors come out, like competitors that are not necessarily in the same exact genre of game, but that are also, games as a service that are attracting people's attention, like Halo Infinite and other all these other fall games that are coming out and stuff, and that maybe they got to a point where it's like, dang, we got to do something, you know what I mean? Like we gotta shake this up, we gotta grab people's attention again. And then maybe that's why they're actually ending this, starting chapter 3 earlier than perhaps originally planned. Maybe they did originally plan to have 10 seasons.
A marketing blitz. Those bastards. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. But also, like, these seasons have been longer, though. With chapter 1, they've been very timely.
Yeah.
There've never been any delayed or extended seasons and stuff like that. So there's that as well. And also, just number 7, people have been talking real mad shit about Spider-Man. And his in-game character model is being roasted. His web slinging sucks ass. His specials are lazy. So yeah, just sucks that PlayStation people that pre-ordered the game because of the Spider-Man is not what it's cracked up to be. Also, they said in a previous, like, when the deal with the pre-order thing and all that razzmatazz was announced, I think they announced that Spider-Man would have his own story campaign, just like Black Panther did, just like Hawkeye did, and all those other characters that they have their own story missions that come with them. Spider-Man is the exception because fuck you.
I'm actually curious about. I wonder if that was because I think the most obvious explanation is they were not able to do it, right? Like they ran out of resources, whatever, or it was not coming along nicely. They cut it, something along those lines. That would be the typical explanation. But because it is Sony and it is this particular deal with Sony with Spider-Man, and they also have the Insomniac Spider-Man games, I wonder if it's more. I wonder if there's a possibility that Sony could have requested or even ordered that they don't do that, so that it does not compete in any way with the Sony Spider-Man games. Meaning, I wonder if Sony would go, you guys can have Spider-Man, but you can't make it like a single-player campaign story or whatever, because we do that. You guys can have him, as just a character that you can fight on, I wonder if Sony would perhaps want to do that.
No, I think it's got to be more of a, how do I put this? It's got to be on Crystal Dynamics' part, because, like, if you think about it, like, and this is just pure speculation, but, like, this is only going to a certain audience, a PlayStation audience. It's not going to PC. Right. It's not going to Xbox. So not your entire player base is not going to be able to benefit from making story missions for one platform. So
that's fair.
Why not just make the lowest common denominator product possible, and
Yeah, and they could even be seeing stats that maybe their player base is only maybe 20% of them is on PlayStation or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally get that.
Especially with it being on Game Pass, I could imagine that the Xbox player base is probably bigger.
Oh yeah. That's fair. So,
and one last thing here before we move on. Why would Hideki Kamiya need to apologize to Microsoft? Because here's the thing. I was under the impression, in my belief, that Microsoft canceled Scalebound on Sony and told them fuck you. Not the other way around. So why would they?
Sony is not part of this.
Sorry,
why did
Microsoft? It was my belief that Microsoft canceled Scalebound on Platinum.
There we go. Okay, just making sure that was cleared out. They did. I skimmed through the article, but the thing that we need to know is that whenever a publisher cancels a game, a developer's game, a lot of fans that were excited for that game, they go and they get pissed off at the publisher. But usually the publisher does it for a reason. That's not always the case, but oftentimes the publisher does it for a reason, such as the game sucked ass, right? And
Yeah.
they were like, we can't release this shit. So Hideki Kamiya basically came out and talked about how the game was not shaping up well, and that the studio was learning to use Unreal for the first time, and they couldn't really pull off the things that they were trying to do, and it wasn't coming together, and that he apologized to Microsoft that the game was so bad, basically, that it wasn't coming together. So even though Microsoft canceled the game, like Microsoft canceled his game, but he almost like feels guilty that the game was so bad that they had to do that. So
Damn.
that's where he's coming from. Yeah. So I think this, if anything, should validate that people should not be mad at Microsoft for canceling the game. It seems like the game was just doomed. That if it had come out, it would probably just been a bad game.
Or it would have damaged Microsoft's and Xbox's brand more than hurt it.
Yeah, true.
So
yeah.
like taking the public bad will probably was better. Damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for the news and stuff like that. So Dan, I got you on a pretty good time. So you can take us home and get us here within time. So I give the show over to you.
What are you buying?
All right, so we got very few new releases coming up here over the next week. In fact, a bunch of them are games that are already out that are just getting released in new platforms. So we're not going to read a blurb for them, even though you might be interested. Oddworld Soulstorm, which was already available on PlayStation, I believe, is coming out on the Xbox Series and Xbox One on November 29th. Beyond a Steel Sky is coming out on PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I believe this was a game that was already available on PC. And then Evil Genius 2 World Domination, which is even nominated for a Game Award, is coming out on PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and probably not 360. I think that's a mistake. On November 30th. It was previously out on PC.
I'm guessing they
I'm now going to look that up.
I'm guessing this website says 360 on here, but I'm guessing they meant to put Xbox One because it's
PS5,
that must have... Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One. But the website has it listed as 360.
But the actual new game that is coming out this week, the only one, is called Solar Ash. It is a PlayStation console exclusive. It is also coming to PC. It's coming out on December 2nd. And I remember seeing this game at some of the events that we covered, Lewis. So I thought it was worth a shout. It also looks kind of cool. Solar Ash is the second game from Heart Machine, the studio led by director Alex Preston and the creators of the award-winning 2016 game Hyper Light Drifter. Players will find a surreal, vivid, and highly stylized world filled with wild, high-speed traversal, endearing characters, and massive enemy encounters. The void is calling.
And Annapurna Interactive, man, they never fuck up.
Yeah. There we go again. Yeah, so Hyper Light Drifter, I know some people that are really into that game. So if you're into that, there's a new one coming out. That's probably the pick of the week, other than maybe Oddworld or coming out on Xbox. But yeah, that's slim week as far as releases go.
Now you know how it feels like. All right, I got you.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
So this is the Broke Gamers Guide, where we go through deals and all sorts of stuff. We always cover the free games on the Epic Game Store, but because it's Wednesday, the games have not updated yet. Supposedly the next week of games will include something called The Hunt Call of the Wild, available for free until December 2nd. And then something also called Antstream Epic Welcome Pack, which I'm not sure what this is, so I'm going to read it here. Grab 1,090 gems for free to use in-game. This in-game currency can be spent on playing games, challenges, and limited-time tournaments. Gems can also be used to unlock harder challenges and play turn-based PvP against friends and other players. So, yeah, it's a pack of in-game currency for this thing called Antstream, which seems to feature retro games. I never heard of it, but
So it looks like it's retro games. It says 1,000 retro games on the cover art.
Yeah.
And look to the left, I see Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. To the right, we got Pac-Man. So it looks like these are just. Oh, I got to see Earthworm Jim. So I'm seeing like these are just retro games that you can play through Antstream Arcade. And what they're doing is they're giving you gems that you can use to play the game, like kind of like a virtual token, like when you go to like an arcade and you gotta put a quarter in to play it. So in order to play these games, you have to pay to play, but Epic is hooking you up with 1,090 gems that cost money. So
Cool.
interesting.
And then the actual game here, The Hunter Call of the Wild, experience an atmospheric hunting game like no other in this realistic and visually breathtaking open world. Immerse yourself in the atmospheric single-player campaign or share the ultimate hunting experience with friends. So this looks like it's one of those simulator, highly realistic games, and this one is about hunting, and very graphically impressive, as a lot of those tend to be.
Cabela's wish that they could have this, or Buck, or whatever you call it. There used to be like a game that you would have on the Wii where like they would be at Cabela's to like play and shoot and hunt,
Yeah, I
hunt
remember
deer.
that. Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, this is basically that next gen version of that. It looks good though. I'm looking at the foliage and it looks pretty dope.
There's also, I just pulled up. There's a Black Friday sale here at the Epic Store. I didn't put the link for this on the doc. I just clicked it through the Epic Store page.
All right, I got it.
But it doesn't look like there's a lot of major deals that knock out of the park. I'll say like maybe like Hitman 3 for $24. That seems like a good one. Back for Blood is 41 instead of 60, but you can play that for free with Game Pass. The Crysis trilogy is $40.
Man, these discounts are like $5 off. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, they're
Uh,
not that exciting. So hopefully we'll see some better Black Friday discounts later in the broke gamers guide here.
okay.
All right, so the next link that I have here is from IGN, and we got all the best Black Friday video game deals. There's a lot of stuff in here. They're trying to put together a bunch of the Black Friday deals that are available across the internet. So some of the standouts, Call of Duty Vanguard is $40 on Walmart. The game just came out, and it typically retails for $70. It looks like, maybe on PS5 specifically. Then we got the Oculus Quest 2, $300. I think that's like the typical price, but you get a $50 gift card with it, or it's not the typical price, but it's often discounted at that. Deathloop for $25. I think that's a huge deal.
That's the lowest.
Yeah, that's a standout one there. Guardians of the Galaxy for $30 as well. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, $50. That's okay. Not very good. A lot of those are on Amazon, by the way.
Yeah.
Ring Fit Adventure, $54 on Amazon. I think that's actually a pretty good deal because the game usually retails for $80.
Yeah. And it's even lower than what Nintendo's offering it. Nintendo's official price is 60, so yeah, they're slashing them down even more.
I'm scrolling through here. It looks like Far Cry 6 is $35 on Amazon. That's a newer game that came out this year. The Demon Souls, PS5 remake is $40. Looks like Returnal's around $40 as well. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you want to spotlight here, Louis? There's so much that I'm not sure where to focus on.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that really catches my attention here. Like some of these deals are a little meh, but I will say I am considering maybe getting this 1 terabyte PS5 NVMe like SSD that you gotta install yourself and everything with the heatsink. So $145 for a terabyte. That's not too bad. Now I may hold off because if I'm gonna expand my storage on the PS5, I'm gonna get 2 terabytes minimum. So yeah. Anyways, yes. Carry on.
Final shout out actually is that I just saw that Resident Evil Village is $20 for pretty much all platforms at Walmart, and that's one of the games of the year this year. So you might want to go and grab that.
Damn.
I also grabbed another article from IGN here, but it's a lot of the same stuff. This one says the best Black Friday deals under $50. I just figured we could go through it and see if there's anything better here. Deathloop cheapest price is $25, and that's on Amazon, Walmart, and GameStop. Guardians of the Galaxy is also $25 on Walmart and Amazon. It looks like you can get a lot of these deals on Amazon, which is cool. So if you don't want to leave your house for Black Friday, you can just order these things from Amazon and get them delivered. There's a lot of Nintendo games that are getting discounted, digitally on eShop as well as on Amazon and these different stores. Most first-party Nintendo games you can get for $40, as opposed to the typical 60. Fire Emblem Three Houses for $35. That might be the cheapest that game's ever been, and it's a Dan recommended game.
Yeah, and I'm seeing these Xbox controllers, and I'm thinking about getting me that red Xbox controller to complete my set because I like to have black, white, red, and blue controllers. So I'm glad I didn't buy it at launch whenever it launched earlier this year because I had a feeling that they were going to be on Black Friday discount because I think they retail for like either 60 or $70, but they're here. All of the first party Xbox Series controllers are discounted to $50 this Black Friday. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get one of those, by the way, because I have two controllers and that was enough. But one of them just kind of hasn't been working well recently, and it's a long story, but I ended up dropping some water into it, and then since then it's been failing me. Wow. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna tell the story. I'm gonna try to keep it short. All right. So water leaked from my ceiling from the second floor to the first floor somehow. We have some kind of I don't know, piping. We had some kind of piping issue or whatever. It fell like right on top, like it leaked through the ceiling right on top of where my Xbox controller was.
Damn.
So I when I found out, it was like soaking wet and it was like dropping from the ceiling and stuff. And I was like, god damn! I tried to dry it and stuff, clean it, but now it's it doesn't really work anymore. It like worked for a little bit and then it just kind of stopped working. So yep. So that's a problem. I'm gonna see if I can get it fixed, but in the meantime, probably gonna get a new one.
Yep. R.I.P.
And then what we have like two final things to hit up here. Games with Gold have been announced for the next month, December 2021. We got The Escapists 2 available for free all month. We got Tropico 5 available from December 16th to January 15th. Then we got Orcs Must Die available from December 1st to the 15th. And Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet from the 16th to the 31st. A lot of these game titles are like mildly familiar. I think Orcs Must Die is probably the one that I've heard the most about from here. Escapists. But yeah, nothing.
I'd say The Escapists is probably the headliner. Tropico. The only reason why I know Tropico is because PlayStation gave away Tropico 5 like years ago on PS Plus, and I didn't care for it then. I don't care for it now. So
yeah, not a great month, but here it is.
That's to be expected.
Yeah, and we often miss those, but I wanted to throw them in here today. The free games with Amazon Prime Gaming. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can get those games for free. In December, those include Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Journey to the Savage Planet, Football Manager 2021, Mork Red, Spellcaster University, YouTuber's Life, Stubbs the Zombie, and Rebel Without a Pulse, and Tales of Monkey Island Complete Pack. So pretty good selection, I would say.
I've always been keeping an eye on Amazon Prime. We've covered Prime Gaming before, at least I have. The reason why I haven't been mentioning it in the doc is because there hasn't been a standout game that's like, oh my god, dude, you guys, you need to catch, you need to get this. And here's the thing: when Amazon Prime Gaming first came out, like I'm talking about when it first, like we're doing Amazon Prime Gaming, they were giving out banger after banger after banger, and then all of a sudden, like, they started giving out like games that no one's ever heard of, and I kind of hated them for that. So they set the expectations incorrectly. They set them too high.
Yeah, it's hard to keep that cadence, but I will say that this month, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, I think that's a well-reviewed game and stuff. Journey to the Savage Planet, I've heard mild things about. Football Manager is kind of like a niche game, but a lot of people are into it. YouTuber's Life, that's a weird like indie game where you get to be a YouTuber, and it's a fun, like, I think it's like a fun stream game. And then Stubbs the Zombie, we also heard about that earlier in the year. So there's some more noteworthy titles this year, so I did want to shout it out. And that's it, Lewis.
YouTuber's Life reminds me of a game called Gamer Girl. I don't know if you know this, but there was like a FMV game.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember during COVID?
Did that ever?
Yeah, during COVID, there was a trailer, and that like set the internet afire because there was like, "How dare you, make this?"
Did that ever come out?
I don't know.
I wonder if that ever...
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet that game was canceled or something. By the way, based on the reception. Although, I think I would have, if it had come out, that we would have seen the internet blow up
releases,
again over
yeah,
it.
on new releases or something, we would have caught it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to put a pin on that one.
Put a pin on that.
All right. Well, anyways, I'll go ahead and sign us out here. It is time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Press Play. Remember, you can reach the podcast at ReadyPlayNetwork.com or simply at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Chakalaka88 and Dan.
At the Delima.
So don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, and tell your friends about the show and all that good stuff. Peace.
Bye-bye.